see them here.
Here in downtown because my family, my grandfather is from here.
The first one, where everybody tends to go once they board the ship, is the Windjammer. The Windjammer is your buffet venue that you will find on any Royal Caribbean ship. But on an Oasis class ship, which Allure of the Seas is, this place is huge. Tons and tons of stations. You'll get pretty much whatever your heart's desire from all around the world. You have your typical American grilled type of stuff. You have your Indian food. You have your Asian food. You have hand-pressed paninis, you have pasta stations, you have meat carving stations. A lot of these things change in and out depending upon the day. It's a wonderful location. Oh, and that dessert bar location and the different cakes and the different choices, crazy, amazing. In the mornings, you have some hand-pressed smoothies of all different flavors. Every day, those flavors change out. It's a great place to kind of say, hey, I wonder what the smoothie is today, and go up and just grab one and go. It's a wonderful location. The Windjammer, the food is fresh. The people are happy. It just seems like a wonderful place. There's also a freestyle Coke machine there too. So if you want to fill up your freestyle cup, that's where you would go. If you do have a gluten allergy, they do have a lot of choices of gluten-free options. Also, if you're a vegetarian, again, you'll see things that are vegetarian options as well. Now, sort of like the little brother of the Windjammer is the Solarium Bistro. At the front of the ship, over by this adult solarium area, you do have the Solarium Bistro. It is another buffet setup. You can get a lot of good buffet items there, and it will be definitely quieter than the Windjammer. This is sort of like a little bit of a pro tip during embarkation day. If the Windjammer is jammed with people jamming food down their mouths, head up to the Solarium Bistro. It's probably going to be quieter. Now, of course, included in your fare is the main dining room. The main dining room on the Allure of the Seas is amazing. It's 3 stories tall. It It's a beautiful, beautiful venue. And the chefs there really kind of make sure that they try to get the food there to that caliber of the venue. It's not going to be your typical banquet fare. I think it's definitely one step up on Royal Caribbean ships. And the last time we were on the Allure of the Seas, the main dining room did a wonderful job. The service staff there, they're all top notch. The main dining room definitely can become a wonderful experience for you. Enjoy it. It's included. Good food, good people, good service. Now, if you happen to book a suite or you are a Pinnacle member, you do have access to the Coastal Kitchen. If you are in a junior suite, though, you're going to be able to go to the Coastal Kitchen only during dinner times, but you need to make a reservation. And the same thing goes with the folks who are Pinnacle members. If you're a Pinnacle member and you want to do some dining at the Coastal Kitchen, go and talk to the maitre d' and get yourself reserved for your dinners. Coastal Kitchen does have a nice kind of fusion between California and Mediterranean food, and the service at Coastal Kitchen is impeccable. They do everything they can to make you happy. One of the things that I did notice that they do change out the menus often at Coastal Kitchen. If you were at a Coastal Kitchen venue before and there was something you really liked and you don't see it on the menu, ask your waiter. They might be able to make it for you. Now let's get into some quick bites. Some places you want to grab a quick bite to eat when you are on the ship. These are great venues that are, you're not sitting down. You just kind of grab and go. Good things like that. First place we'll talk about, we'll go from the back of the ship and start moving our way forward, is the doghouse. So the doghouse is the place you are going to want to go if you are in the mood for food in a tube. I always like a good hot dog. I don't know. I'm from New York. I guess it's kind of in my blood. And if you happen to be on Allure of the Seas during football season, where they will put up those football games in the Aqua Theater, who does not like watching football with a hot dog? Now, if you go back into the Royal Promenade, you will have two locations you can go to for some quick bites. You're going to have the Cafe Promenade and you're going to have Sorrento's. Cafe Promenade is a great place to get some nice sandwiches, some really small little salads here and there, some really quick pastries. That's a great place to get some of those quick bites along with your specialty coffees. And in the evening, Cafe Promenade has some amazing, amazing little appetizers. Those fried artichokes, great stuff. They also have this thing called spicy marinated cheese. Again, a great little snack in the evening. One of my favorite pastries from Cafe Promenade are called the Led Zeppelis. Now, I'm 100% Italian, so Zeppelis do have a little place in my heart that just is reserved for them. Of course, if you're in the mood for pizza, some late night pizza after an evening in the casino or after having a great night out with your friends and family, pizza, late night, it sort of goes together. And you get that at Sorrento's Pizza. You will also find the Coke freestyle vending machine right outside of Sorrento's. Now, the final quick bite location that I'm going to talk about is found in Central Park. It's called the Park Cafe. Park Cafe is another location that people tend to go when they first get on the ship. That's because they have a wonderful sandwich. It's called the Kimmelwick sandwich. It's a sandwich made out of roast beef that's freshly carved, goes on these wonderful homemade buns that they do on the ship. The buns are to die for. They got some kosher salt on the top, some poppy seeds. They have other things too. They got hand-tossed salads. They have sandwiches, paninis, you name it, those type of really quick grab and go type of things. It's a wonderful location for some quick bites. Just remember, this place is not open during dinner. Okay, let's round out the last places that you can get some food for free. One of them is located in the spa. Yeah, Vitality Cafe does have some food and it is free. It's not just all smoothies and protein shakes and hand-pressed juices. Things that you kind of would want if you're going to get some energy before you do your workout. Now, the final thing we're going to talk about is room service. Now, room service is included for your continental breakfast in the morning. It's 100% free. Now, if you want an American breakfast, there's going to be a fee. Just like there's going to be a fee after breakfast hours. That fee is $7.95, but it's for everything. It's for whatever you order. But hey, for $7.95, and if I'm getting 2 Wagyu prime beef hamburgers with bacon and cheese on top, that's a pretty good deal if you ask me. Yeah, that's right. Get the Royal Burger. Prime Wagyu cheeseburger. Yum. That's it for the stuff that is included in your cruise fare. Let's start talking about the stuff that's going to cost you a little bit of extra coin. And we're going to start with the restaurants you will find in Central Park. Central Park has 3 wonderful restaurants in there. They have Chops Grill, they have 150 Central Park, and they have Giovanni's Table. We're going to start this conversation off with Chops Grill. Chops Grill is your typical American steakhouse. Now, I personally think you will get a good steak at Chops Grill. Will it be a great steak? Maybe. Maybe, but you will get a good steak. I also really like the sides there. If you're a traditionalist, you can get those Yukon Gold mashed potatoes and some cream spinach. It's a good location. definitely go if you're in the mood for a steak. Now, if you want something a little bit different, the one place that I would recommend is 150 Central Park. 150 Central Park kind of takes the concept of farm to table and brings it onto the Allure of the Seas. They do use locally sourced fresh vegetables for their dishes. It is a interesting presentation. They do take your classic entrees and they kind of do a twist with it. Instead of a beef Wellington, they do a lamb Wellington. So yeah, that's the kind of things that you're going to get there. The other little pro tip to look out when you're at 150 Central Park is some of those menu items, you'll see a little TS symbol associated to it. When you see that TS symbol, that means the entree or the appetizer that you are getting will be prepared tableside for you. So if you're into tableside preparation, there you go. Now you know how to get it. And finally, we're going to talk a little bit about Giovanni's Table. Giovanni's Table is probably our favorite restaurant on Allure of the Seas. We went there 3 times our last cruise. We just really enjoyed the ambiance there, the wait staff there. The food is good. You know, I wouldn't call it the best Italian food ever, but the food is good. It is your typical Tuscan, rustic Italian food. Ossobuco, tagliatelle, gnocchi, all those type of things, right? It also could be served family style. You can share. It's a nice meal. If you're going to go to one restaurant on Allure of the Seas, I would recommend Giovanni's Table. And now let's talk about some of the other specialty restaurants that you will find on Allure of the Seas that is not located in Central Park. The first one we're going to talk about is Samba Grill. Samba Grill is a Brazilian steakhouse where people come around, they call them gachos, where they would come around with meat on a stick and they'll just start slicing it off to you. They also have a wonderful appetizer bar location, and they have these Brazilian cheese balls that are kind of bread feel to it, but they are made out of cheese. Delicious. If you're in the mood for a steak or beef or anything along those lines, but you don't want to pay the upcharge for a chops grill, think about Samba Grill as an alternative. The next place we're going to talk about is Sabor. Sabor is your elevated upscale Mexican restaurant. Here you can get your fresh made guacamole made in the molcajete that they will leave on the table for you, and it is delicious. The guacamole is really good. They also make some wonderful small plates. They just have a real good knack of making the small plates. Oh, they also make their tortillas fresh, both the flour and the corn. Finally, let's talk a little bit about Izumi. Izumi has 2 types of locations in there. They have both the hibachi grill location and their sushi location. The hibachi grill is your typical Japanese teppanyaki type of location. It's a lot of fun. You have a great chef there cutting up your meats, just giving a good show, juggling, all sorts of fun, right? Throwing food back and forth. It's something to behold if you've never done it before. If you've never done a Japanese steakhouse hibachi type of grill, try it out. It's a lot of fun. But if you're in the mood for sushi, you'll be on the other side of the venue. That's where you'll find the sushi restaurant. Great sushi, nice and fresh, a little bit of a twist, a lot of things that you won't necessarily find on land. Now, there are some quick eat locations that you can go to that does cost you money. The first one, of course, being Johnny Rockets. Johnny Rockets is located in the back of the ship, again, right across from Sabor by the Aqua Theater. This is the place you're going to go if you feel like you want some classic American diner food. They got a great burger, they got great chicken club sandwiches, they got great salads, the milkshakes to die for. There is only a small upcharge to go to Johnny Rockets. I believe right now it's around $15 per person. And the last kind of quick bites that's going to cost you some coin is Starbucks. There is a Starbucks on Allure of the Seas. Everything at Starbucks is going to cost you unless you happen to be in a star class suite. If you're in a star class suite, Starbucks is included. But hey, if you're in the mood for one of those lemon squares, or if you're in the mood for a Frappuccino, this is where you're going to go, because sometimes when you want a Frappuccino, you really need a Frappuccino. If you're a Starbucks person, you'll know what I mean. But let's now talk about our final option for dining on Allure of the Seas, and that is the chef's table. The chef's table is a special experience. It's a food experience where you will get some of the best food you will ever have on a Royal Caribbean ship. When you sign up for the chef's table, the chef de cuisine on the ship will guide you on this amazing culinary adventure. You'll have 5 courses, all paired with some wonderful wine to kind of elevate and bring out the flavors of that course. If you're a foodie, this is something you might want to think about doing. It's an experience. You want to go to the chef's table, make sure you book it, and book it soon on your cruise planner. Well, there you go, folks. That's our ultimate dining guide for Allure of the Seas. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. It really helps with the YouTube